This is Gilmer, and this is my episode 17 of Let's Play Rise of Prussia. When we last left you, we were sieging Stralsund, and we have two breaches on Stralsund Fortress, so it is time to assault the fortress. I've never gotten this far in a game, so I don't know if this means that Sweden will be knocked out of the war, but I'm hoping that's the case. I think it is. I'm not positive, but I think I've read in playthroughs that if you take Stralsund, they will drop out of the war. I hope that is the case because then that'll free up Kurt von Schwerin's Nord army to move south and fight in Austria. We had just captured Dusseldorf with Frederick the Great's army, the Elba army. And I think I was planning on letting him rest here because they have a little bit of cohesion loss. I can't remember what purple and green are, but one of them's cohesion and one of them is supply. I think purple is cohesion. So they have a little bit of cohesion loss. I have plotted Wutgenau to come to Mainz, which is in the Palatinate, and take Mainz, and then I plan on moving him up the river on this side on the west side of the Rhine River, and maybe join forces with the Elba army, since it is a core of the Elba army, and then move further up and attack this column of it says Austria. It has some French in it as well. I don't know. It's possible I could take Paris because it is one of the strategic towns to take. I say it's possible. I don't know. I mean, it says that it has an arrow from there and from there. That means you can move to false, wherever false is. And this one says Regime de France or Royaume de France. I'm not sure, but this must be where you actually come out if you leave from France. And this is the region that you move to the off area part of France where Paris is. And if I took Paris, it's a 3 fort, a level 3 fort. If I took Paris, I'm wondering if France is knocked out of the war. I'm not positive about that. As I mentioned, I've never done well as Prussia. I don't know exactly what happens. Excuse me, we're in uncharted territory with this playthrough, actually, because I've never done this well with Prussia. So I'm pretty happy about that, and that's why I don't know about Stralsund as well. So we're going to play a lot of this by ear, and you know, it is early September, and so what I was thinking about while I was away is I was thinking that Lucchese's army's over here somewhere. If I can get him caught up in these mountains when winter comes on, he will be in a world of hurt. So I don't know if I can take Königgrätz quickly enough for winter, but it's worth a shot because if I can get Lucchese caught up in these mountains during the winter, and ideally maybe caught on the other side of the mountains, caught on the wrong side of the mountains, that would pretty much destroy them completely, destroy that army completely, and that would be another huge blow to them. Sudden death morale is ours is 122, theirs is 85. They were up to the 90s at one point, but I started winning battles and winning sieges, and their morale is on the way back down again. Have I checked every army? I've checked him, I've checked him, I've checked him, and I've checked him. So let's go ahead and execute this turn, and I'm really to the point where I want to play this almost continuously because I'm really excited about winning this game as Prussia. Excuse me. So let's execute that turn, see what happens. Okay, this is the assault of Stralsund. One, we capture Stralsund. As you can tell, our flag's flying over Stralsund. Second expedition against St. Malo. Field Marshal Apraxin dies. That is, I think he's a Russian general. And second expedition. Second expedition against St. Malo. Second English expedition against St. Malo. Because of bad weather, the English fleet has to relocate to the Bay of St. Cast after the landing, and the landing troops must march there overland and assault on St. Malo, having been eventually deemed impracticable. I think that's the wrong word. But the French arrive in force, and the English force sacrifices its rear guard to re-embark. So that probably cost us something. And it helped Austrians' morale. Why do they get all these? They get all these events that help their morale at plus 10. We capture Stralsund. One of the guys was blamed for defeat before the enemy, even though we won the battle. 0 national morale gained. Reinforcements at Dusseldorf, which is what I was hoping for on that level. While taking Stralsund, we managed to capture 511 supply carts and 504 crates of ammunition. But I don't see anybody saying that Sweden is out of the war. Well, that just makes me upset. No, I'll survive. So let's take them off assault posture. let's no, pal, I don't want you moving. I'm gonna leave that guy in garrison at Stralsund because I don't want to lose Stralsund ever again, because if Sweden is not out of the war, then Stralsund is the bottleneck, and if they can't, I think they come through Stralsund when they're coming to fight in the war. So if I can keep Stralsund, then they will never, again threaten me. I think what I'll do is I'll just move down and take Rostock, then take Wismar, and then come over here and defeat this guy, and hopefully that'll be the end of Sweden doing anything in this war. As I was saying, I think I received a spawn of a garrison in Dusseldorf. Maybe it takes a turn. Maybe that's the problem I had with Prague that time. Buchenau is sieging Mainz. We have no breaches yet. And how about over here? We still have 3 days before we get to Königgrätz. Hopefully we'll get there and immediately get a nice little breach. This army is fairly formidable again. 900 plus 700, 1600 plus 1900 is 2700. And the supply is coming up fairly nicely here at Königgrätz. Königsberg, I'm sorry. But so it must be that I had too large of an army and it was using up the supply too much, which is I kind of find that a little, I don't know. I just don't think that's right. It should, in some of their later games, there's a supply setting in the settings of the game that you can put, and it's easy supply. And if you're in a region with a city, your army is supplied. I like that rule because then you don't have one of these situations where you're sitting on top of a size 6 city and still not getting enough, and a size 3 depot and still not getting enough supply. So that probably means that if I get up here to Weasel, I'll probably use up all that supply at some point. I'm not so sure I like that. But you play with the rules that you're given. So that's the rules that are on at this time. So I'll keep working within the rules as much as possible. To. We'll put him here, and then I think that'll give us a spy on Olmütz. F1. Okay. We need more. That's what we need. We need Prussian elite replacements. Prussian heavy artillery. I really don't have a lot of need, I don't think, for Hanoverian replacements, but I'm surprised I don't get replacements for Braunschweig and the rest of them that I can buy, except maybe in here. Depot Grenadier Battalion. So we do have replacements. But you can't build them anywhere. Used to, you could, or in some games, you can double click on the unit and it'll show you where you can build it. But it doesn't show me anywhere where I can build any of these. That's a bug or something, I'm sure. You have to be able to build it. There would be no sense in offering it to you if you can't build it. So anyway, there's no way to buy replacements for Wuka now. So I guess you're on your own, Wuka now. He has some replacements available, but not a whole lot. And the game probably generates some replacements for him every year or so. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about him. He's not having to fight too much. Now let's move him up here. Yes, we've plotted, of course, for all of them, and we can now F3, no, F4, no, F5, 120 to 96. So let's execute this turn. Maybe it takes one turn for Sweden to drop out of the war. I don't know. Either way, their capabilities of fighting a war are pretty much done. Really looking forward to the new AJOD title that's coming out called 30 Years War, which simulates the 30 Years War, coincidentally. Which is from 1618 to 1648, I believe, and it was mostly the Protestants against the Catholics in Germany, and the battlefields mostly were in Germany. But you know, that conflict sounds so complicated in the sense of what caused it. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain it to you, but it was mostly the Catholics against the Protestants. I should have put him on assault, because then he would have taken Rostock as soon as he moved in. We received reinforcements here. We won a battle at Königgrätz, 2 national morale. We captured Leopold von Daun unit from Austria in region Königgrätz. Leopold von Daun, I'm surprised I have not seen him in this game really at all, because everybody that's read up on this history knows that Leopold von Daun was probably the most capable general on Austria's side. He was great at defense, and he had a habit of getting to the battlefield before Frederick the Great did in setting up and being prepared for his, for the battle to come. And he's got an excellent defense rating, and I'm surprised I haven't been up against him yet. Some of the old pros at Rise of Prussia won't take Leopold von Daun on directly because they know that there's a good chance they'll lose to him if they attack him when he's in defensive mode and entrenched. So it's kind of surprising that I haven't really seen him. When they say I caught him, holy cow. Oh, where is he? I thought I saw him. Oh, no. I'm pretty sure I saw his face. See, that's weird. It's just an artillery unit, but it has his face on it. Very strange indeed. I wonder if that means he was captured. Because if it does, then that's excellent for us. See, now he's at 10% penalty. 5. Still a 10% penalty, so let's move. We still can give some, so let's move some more. There's Lucchese. See, he's got a pretty large army, and he was sitting here well supplied. So I don't know why my guys keep using up all the supply. We've gotten one breach. We need one more breach to take Mainz. We have not gotten a breach in Königgrätz. If the snows come, I'll probably just move. Well, actually, it's probably. I've learned my lesson. It's probably time to go ahead and move them back now, actually. Okay, one other thing I wanted to do. And this guy, I don't think he has a chance of doing anything. So let's save that turn. I've looked at everybody. Luganau is the only one that's not an army. He's still sieging Mainz. Plotted him. I plotted him. Since it's October, I really don't, and he moves horribly for some reason. I really don't want to move him out of Weasel. But really, him being in Weasel basically cuts France off from doing anything. So, I got a nice little force here in Brussels. So let's execute that turn. I guess what I'll do is I'll leave a fairly significant force in the Sweden area of operation, just to make sure Stralsund isn't recaptured, and to clean up any smaller forces that are floating around and causing trouble. Once I destroy or beat fairly decently the formation besieging Lubeck, which is up here. Once I beat this guy, then I'm going to move on swearing. Excuse me, to Austria. So what do I want to do here? If I leave Rostock, this guy will probably move right back in and take it. We'll leave him here. We'll probably leave him as the guy that does a little bit of cleaning up around here. It's about to be winter, so I don't want to really. Holy cow. No, let's move him with them. They all need some they all need to sit here and recover some of their cohesion and strength loss. Let's build some we're definitely running low on elite Prussian elite infantry replacements, so I'm building some of those depot battalions that will give me replacements, because I think that's really starting to affect our armies. And I don't want... What is he doing there? I don't want them to, you know, be debilitated, be to the point where they can't fight anymore because they don't have any replacements to replenish their ranks. That's one of the things that Prussia has to deal with, is the fact that they do not have enough capability of replacing their elite infantry units as the war goes on, so that evens out things as the war goes on. Even so, you still have a pretty good advantage. We're at 30 points differential on the national morale. So let's save this turn. I think this is the third turn of this episode 17, I believe. So maybe one more turn and then we'll call this episode to a close. And then they're the winter months, which Unless something really, I might just play those off camera because winter is very boring, mostly. And especially now, I don't want to take any chances during the winter months. So I probably won't do anything offensive. So I'll probably just play the winter months off camera. So Wukenau takes another city. Maine's another fortress. He's becoming quite the siege man. And as we suspected, snow has come. I'm moving him back because I don't really know that 96 in supply is going to keep him supplied, and Frankfurt am Main has 1216 of supply, so I'm going to move him back. Even though a garrison, fort garrison hasn't spawned here yet, I don't really feel like I can leave him there. But I moved these guys back just in time. Because I certainly did not want to be caught in here during a winter turn. Now, Lucchese's out there somewhere. He's probably in, he might be in some bad shape because Lucchese, it doesn't look like he's in Nymburk, so he's out here floating around. Might be here. That could be very costly. I wonder if he's in Königgrätz. He might be in Königgrätz. Let's move him up. It's just 2 days away from this supply, and he can move back, but it's not important to keep him alive anyway. I mean, that's a very small formation. If I lose him to attrition, I'm not too worried about it. Let's move him there. So he's used up 600 supply already. All of them are back over here. I don't know if this is the best way to do this, but I like putting all the garrison formations all together, just to make it a little bit more easy to look at and manage. There's a lot of supply there. Hey, he's still. Oh, he was in that. That's not who I'm. This is the one that's really down on forces. This formation right here, this one that's all in red, the Fusiliers, they're almost completely, they have 17 men. Well, they have 17 men. Their strength is 1 of 10. And they have 1/10 of their fighting force they're supposed to have. So we've got to get those guys back up. We captured a fort battery from Austria. We captured a supply reserve unit from Austria. We captured the main fortress, the Mainz fortress. We won a battle. We didn't gain. Poor sanitation debilitates your largest army. Thank you very much. Hamilton resigns. Typhus strikes in Stralsund. Great. War exhaustion is starting to bear its toll on all nations involved. -1 national morale every 5 turns. And that's something that they build into every one of their games, and it's not that big of a deal. You just have to be, you just have to acknowledge it. Okay, this unit has a so let's move him. We'll put him at the head of them, even though he's not a very good general. He does have a very good strategic rating. So let's look at this. So we 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're controlling 19 of 26. I expect that number to go up a lot. And next year, I honestly, I guess this year has been a good year. It definitely wasn't as good as 1757, but it's still been a pretty good year because I've taken several fortresses. Stralsund being the main one that I've taken. And I have them almost completely cut off. They can't really do anything from here and don't look like they want to. Russia is completely out of the war, more because of the game than anything else. Sweden is pretty much out of the war. So it's really just me against Austria again, like at the beginning of the game. So things are looking up. Things are definitely looking good for Prussia right now. So let's go ahead and execute this turn, and I might, since the turns go so quickly, I might just run the winter turns on camera, just because there are flavor events that you might want to see. So I don't want to, deprive you of that, but you're not probably going to see anything happen much from me. I really hope that Lucchese is caught out here in the winter in some harsh land, because that would be... Oh, did you guys see that? There was somebody here. I wonder if that was Lucchese. And of course, there's no snow. Reinforcements to mains. So, Austria still sieging Lubeck and has not achieved anything. Your control of Königgrätz has been reduced to 0 at day 15. That's because we just gave it up. Von Zeiten has been hit due to supply lack. It's completely out of supply, so it's good to get him back there. Well, no, because if I move past, he won't be in a position to actually still see it. It'll flash by and I won't see it again. And what I'm trying to do is scout out if Lucchese is down in this area, which if it is, then he's managed to survive another year. Plus, he's positioning himself probably to defend this area, this little triumvirate of main cities of Austria. Let's see. See, I don't want to move them because it's late November. Snow's probably going to show up. It really probably is a good time to sit down. Oh, look at this. Wait a minute. This is the guy. No. I think he has resupplied himself. These are all in good supply again. Yeah, they're all right. They're using up all their supply again. He's just a 1-star. Oh well. 123 to 96. It's funny how their morale keeps going up, even though there's war weariness occurring. Maybe they're being heartened by the fact that I haven't completely destroyed them yet. Okay. So let's save this turn and execute it. I might do one more turn since I'm running through these turns very quickly. There's not a lot to do, you know? I have 5 armies. I'm basically waiting for winter to hit because it's about to be early December. Oh, it's a Piccolomini. That's who is down here. He's been sitting there for a long time because I remember I drove him there from when I attacked him in Shashlau probably a year and a half ago. So let's move him back. So Lucchese's up here somewhere. He might be in Königgrätz. If that is the case, not that I'm going to do anything, I'm just thinking out loud to myself, this guy's, did I reduce his force that much? I'll tell you what, I'd rather have, he's a 532 and he's a 543. That's 6 of 20. So he's now at 278 and he's up to 350. So let's see, 3,000, 5,000, 6,500, 85, 9,200, 9,500, 9,600 or so. That's a hell of a damn big army. Occupation of Fort Duquesne. In North America, occupation of Fort Duquesne by the British. This post, which has been abandoned and burned by the French, is strategically placed at the junction of the Allegheny and Monongahela rivers. The British rebuilt a much larger fort on the site. So that should be, well, it reduces their national morale and gives me 3 victory points. I haven't looked at victory points in a while. 3,433 to their 745. So we have command and lead in victory points. I do believe we're going to win by sudden death at some point, but if we don't win by sudden death, we will eventually win by victory points. just a question of how long. Lukenau's back here in Frankfurt on Main. That's nice. He's sitting in a snow-covered region. These guys are 1,700, 2,400, 5,300, and 6,700. So they're a very strong little force as well. Sweden is still in the war, but really, what can they do? That's their strongest force. Oh God, look at that. He's been sitting there in the snow all this time. I mean, I know some of these have not been snow turns, but most, 2 or 3 have been snow turns, and he's been sitting here the whole time. And he's actually he doesn't have anything left. The Swedish forces are completely and utterly out of the action, out of the game. They will never. So one more turn, and then we'll call it quits, I think. See if anything exciting happens. Doubtful. But there might be some flavor events that give us morale or something that I want you to see. Because this war is going very well for us. I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood. I'm actually knocking on cardboard, which is almost wood. And I think I will. Madras besieged. The siege of Madras begins in India. A force of 2,000 French and 4,000 Indians under Lally Tollendal invested the town of Madras, defended by 4,000 men, of whom the majority are Indians, commanded by Colonel Stringer Lawrence. Jesus, they got some more national morale. Now they're above 100. They can't beat me on the field, but by these events, they're probably going to have more national morale than I'm going to have. Oh well. That's going to be the end of this episode. Not too much happened in this episode, but a couple of things. I captured a couple of forts and, had a couple of small battles. So I will see you guys next time. This is episode 17, and thanks a lot for watching.